So hello, today I'm at Holy Trinity Church in Pleshey in Essex, and I'd like to talk to you about the history of the village and the church. So because it's such a beautiful, quaint English village, I'd like to walk from one end to the other, and I've got this phone with a Steadicam on it so it allows me to not bounce around too much. So Pleshey is a village in Essex. It's 6 miles from Chelmsford and 16 miles from Bishop Stortford. The village is surrounded by Essex farmland and the population is around 400. So history has always been closely associated with Pleshey. Roman foundations just after half a mile west of the parish church were found by a local farmer, and a mosaic pavement was discovered in 1749. So here we have, I guess you could call it a local pub, the Level Bottle. Beautiful little pub. And as you walk through, obviously you can see all these Union Jacks just about on every building, and that is because pretty soon we've got the 4 days celebrations to celebrate Queen Elizabeth II's Diamond Jubilee, which will be England's longest reigning monarch, which is just outstanding if you think about it. So if you look at the phone box, also acts, let's have a little crossover and we'll have a look. Acts as the local library. Some villages will use them as a house a defibrillator. Isn't that a great idea? And also the village can put some notices on there as well. Now going back to the history, a Roman burial vault was even found here. It's containing pots and bottles along with coins, so we can assume there would have been a settlement here of some importance. Now during the Saxon period, Pleshey was under the area of High Easter to the west of the village, which still is there today. And we know in 1066 the lord of the manor was known as Esgar, the constable. So again, a very powerful man indeed to be Essex constable. Done. Now by 1086 the Normans had full control of the lands here, and a very large settlement consisting of 119 households, including 6 freemen and 13 slaves. And 14 plough teams, and this is an immensely wealthy area at that time. Slaves indicate a manor's wealth. Most interesting for me, there were 17 beehives. Across my travels of Essex so far, I've only come across one area with 2 beehives. Now the land had goats and pigs and sheep and oxen to pull the ploughs, and we have a Geoffrey de Mandeville. It was not only the tenant-in-chief here, but also lord of the manor, along with Cuthbert and 3 men-at-arms, and this again was most unusual. And it leads neatly into why Pleshey today, or perhaps in the past, was well known. Its castle. Pleshey Castle Moat and Bailey, a short distance from the church, built around the 1100s. Now what we're looking at now looks like a village pond, but in fact this is the moat, completely original, and through that tree line it will just go round. It literally is round, and on that straight ahead would have been sat the castle. Hello. No, never lost. Making a video of this lovely little village. Make videos of churches, and then sometimes I'll connect up the.
You come from?
Billericay?
I don't know.
No. I'm sort of Essex bound. Now, Geoffrey de Mandeville in 1140 was rewarded with the title Earl of Essex, and by 1143, having carried out a power struggle against King Stephen in 1143, Geoffrey would find himself imprisoned. And his beloved castle here at Pleshey was returned to the crown. Later it was returned to his family, the Mandeville family. Now by 1227 the castle was passed on to the famous and powerful de Bohun's family in marriage. Next we have Thomas of Woodstock, Duke of Gloucestershire, or Gloucester, of 1374, and it was a large and wealthy family, and for 40 years it would remain with the family. And there says it all. Be a very, very exciting period for the whole nation. Then once again it passed to the crown. It passed for the last time to a family, the Duchy of Lancaster. By the 16th century it had become a ruin. So all that history had gone to rubble. Beautiful houses here. Now we shall walk a little bit around where the moat would have had a drawbridge. Hello. You can see each house hold, very proud of their property and make a lot of effort, or put a lot of effort into upholding them. Right, we are getting there. Let's cross over because you get a better view. More modern looking postbox than other places, so don't know much about postboxes, but Looks different. You've got the parish council notice board. Now I'd just like to point out that the castle ruin, it's basically just some brickwork, and the mounds are all on private property. If we look down there, you can see the moat continues all the way round. Let's have a look, you can see it here. This is the moat, goes in a complete circle. If we look where that gentleman is over there, you can see what's left of the fortification where the brickwork is. Now this moat is one of the finest examples in all of England, and I must say the ducks and the wildlife seem to be most happy here. So you can see the village literally wraps itself around the moat. Oh, those dogs made me jump. I don't know if you can see up there, but on that roof, I don't know, it's like a little dog or a fox. Fantastic skills that are kept alive. And this plaster work here, it's very popular in Essex. Hello. Now, today's church was built around 1394. And as you can see, it's outside of the defensive perimeter and position. It's most likely paid for by the Lord of the Manor as a private place of prayer. Now, the castle and village itself would have been great conflict during the 13th centuries, during the Barons' Wars. And between 1361 and 1384, Augustinian friars lived here under the invitation most likely of the Bohun family. Now, they wrote 11 books written within the very walls of the castle, because they had a small chapel in there. And one book celebrated the marriage of Mary de Bohun and Henry Bolingbroke, who was the future King Henry IV of England. Now, Mary would become the mother of another king, King Henry V. And if we look at that statue there, that will become apparent in a minute. Now, even William Shakespeare himself actually wrote in one of his plays, Richard II, and he wrote, "Bid him, I wot, with all good speed at Pleshey visit me. Alack, and what shall good York there see, but empty lodgings and unfurnished walls, unpeopled offices, untrodden stones." That was my effort of a Shakespearean play. Now, in 1559, Queen Elizabeth I sold the castle here, and the masonry was carried off for other projects. And by 1629, it's just what we see today, a moat and bailey. Now, that building that I just showed you, pointed to that statue, that is for in 1927 that became the House of Retreat for Chelmsford Diocese, and it's a former convent for Anglican nuns. So now we should look at the church itself. So it's the Holy Trinity Church. It was originally built by Thomas Woodstock in 1393. Who was the Duke of Gloucester. Now, the church is built in a cruciform plan, so if you sort of stood above it with one of those drones, it would look like a crucifix. And it's in connection with 9 priests. I don't quite know how. Today's church was completely rebuilt by the Victorians in the 18th century, and once again in 1868. And if you look, you've got a central tower. So we should go inside and have a look. So I'm quite impressed with what the Victorians did. They really did build immensely strong and built to last projects. You can see all this is oak. Certainly strongly made. So we shall walk in. so. I'm just going to take off my hat. Rucksack as well. If I just put these lights on over here. Hello. Hello, I'm just making a video. Is it okay if I turn the lights on for the chancel? Is that okay? These 4 here, is it? I just need the 4 on, really. Oh, that's great.
You do?
No, the rest, oh, that'll be fine. Yeah, that's fine, because I like it sort of natural light, really. Yeah, that's fine, that's lovely.
Well, the only other 2 of these.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you could leave those off, I think. Too much. Too much. That's better, yeah, that's nice.
Sorry,
Thank you.
my husband's,
Oh, okay. There you go. Just as I was saying, getting ready for the celebration.
Are you from the village?
No, I'm from Billericay, so I make videos on churches. I'm from Billericay. I make videos of churches and put them on YouTube. I'll tell you details after.
Will you?
Yeah, of course I will. Of course I will. More than I can do. So,
Do you want? Oh, I don't know. My husband's coming because to put the flower up in the tower,
okay.
at the top of the tower, the view is quite
Oh, I'd like to see that. Nice lady. So here we've got on the board, obviously the list of rectors there, and masters, and then the vicars. And if you follow it right the way down, it obviously goes to the present vicar. Now you can see the central tower is immensely strong and large. It measures 12 feet by 20 feet. And the north arch is 14th century. So if I get my bearings right, it should be that one there. That should be the north arch. Now the only antiquities of this church are, or at least from the 14th century, are these 2 slabs here. And it's possible they go back to Woodstock, I guess. And you can see here where the dowel of the brass has been pulled out, and you can see some sort of like moss there, which is quite unusual because it only goes in the actual recesses. So these are more likely to be 14th century. And the same with over here. Now this one here, originally I thought it was a load of swords, but actually I think they're spires of a cathedral of some sort. So they come down to a base. And again you can see where the pegs would have been. They would have been covered in brass, so all this has been ripped out, whether it's been ripped out in the English Reformation, or sometimes these were pulled out by the families themselves. So now we're in the central tower area. We've got a nice organ there. Now, Pleshey itself received the award Best Kept Village in 2013. And in 2015, Pleshey then celebrated the 800th anniversary of the sealing of the Magna Carta with King John. For Geoffrey de Mandeville was indeed one of the 25 barons to sign the Magna Carta. And Pleshey village itself, or the ladies of the village, made this wonderful panel, measuring 2 metres by 1 metre. And it obviously significant to the people here with the trees and all the rest of it. You've got Jeffrey there in the middle, and then you've got the ruins of the castle, the bishop's hat and so on. But there's actually a document here that you can read which goes into great detail. And we look here, we've got various stained glass windows, it's quite beautiful. There's one of the hatchments of one of the families of the area. Now if we enter the steps of the chancel, it's quite magnificent. So we have a fantastic memorial here. Samuel Tufnell, Esquire, and it looks like it's all set in marble. And at the high altar area we have most beautiful reredos carved in stone. Remember, this is all from the Victorian period, so no expense has been spared. And most beautiful window, which has got baby Jesus on the left, and left centre panel is on the cross Jesus, and then he's arisen. And I guess the fourth panel is where he's ascended to heaven. So yes, so today just one other thing. The Leather Bottle pub in Pleshey was once run by Keith Flint, the lead singer of the Prodigy band, and Keith lived here for 20 years. And today the village prepares for the Diamond Jubilee celebrations to mark the long reign of Queen Elizabeth II. And Holy Trinity Church carries out baptisms, weddings and funerals, and is very much the centre of village life here. So I hope you enjoyed that. Thank you very much.